Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. On day 6 of my bridal series, I will be recreating the soft pink bridesmaids look that I wore for my cousin's bachelorette party. I feel like this look is very soft, feminine, and complements tan complexions really well. So, yeah, let's get started. Like always, I'm starting off with the eyes, applying some concealer to my lids and also in the inner corners to cover all the pigmentation and create a blank canvas for the eyeshadows. Then I'm gonna set the concealer in place using some powder so it doesn't crease and settle into my line. Using the Violet Was Berry Burst palette, starting off with this mid-tone brown as my first transition shade. I'm using a very fluffy crease brush as I want to diffuse this color very high into my crease. I'm going to slowly build up the intensity of this color. Then taking a precise brush with some berry pink eyeshadow from the palette and applying this into the socket and blending it upwards into the crease. But I'm not going to take this color as high as the previous color. For all over the lid, I'm taking this pink shimmery shade and applying it all over the lid, but leaving some space in the outer corners. To get the most pigment, I'm going to use my fingers first and then use a flat shaded brush to have more precision at the edges so I can define the crease a little bit better. Then right where the pink shimmer ended, I'm going to add this cranberry shimmery eyeshadow to create a nice transition from lighter pink shimmer to darker pink shimmer, adding some of that berry pink matte shadow, which was our second transition shade, in the outer corners to add more definition to the eyes. First, I'm going to deposit the color in the outer corners and then drag and blend it into the crease. Picking up the darker brown from the eyeshadow palette and deepening up the outer corners to add extra definition to the eyes. When I'm doing this, I'm making sure I am going with a little bit of color at a time, and I'm going to work on both the eyes at the same time. This way I can make them look similar as much as possible. Since it's a darker color, it's going to be visible. Like it's going to be like very evident if I mismatch both the eyes, if that makes sense. Then I'm going to pick up the second transition shade one last time and blend out everything so there are no harsh edges. I'm taking some of the pink champagne color, applying it onto the brow bone and then softening it out using my fingers. Then I'm also going to take that into my inner corners and slightly join it with the lid shade. Then I'm going to add a wing. Instead of a black liner, which can be a little bit harsh for the pink eyeshadows, I opted for a nice, almost like a burgundy eyeliner. This is from Tarte and I'm just using that to draw a wing. First I'm going to outline the wing, then I'm going to drag the liner all the way to the inner corners. Moving on to face, I'm taking my NYX Angel Well Blood Primer and applying it all over my face. Then to add some extra glow to my skin, I'm taking the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Drops and applying this all over my face. This is going to add such a nice, beautiful glow to the skin. I'm taking my favorite Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation in the shade Y425 and blending it out onto my face. Just like look at the glow that it's adding. For concealer, I'm taking my Cover FX Power Play Concealer in the shade G Medium 4 and applying it generously underneath my eyes and then using a beauty blender to blend it all out. And when blending out my concealer, I always make sure to go back and forth. This is going to really set the concealer in place and prevent it from creasing. Then setting the concealer in place using some Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. And I'm also going to set my T-zone a little bit. Since I used oil underneath, I don't want my makeup to get oily by the end of the day. Moving back to eyes, I'm taking the very pink matte shadow and blending it out very generously on my lower lash line. Then I'm going to take the matte brown shade and keep this color like very close to the lash line. I'm not going to diffuse it as much as I did with the previous pink shade. For bronzer, I'm taking my Lancome Dwell Finish Powder, which is few shades darker than my skin tone, and I'm just using this to bronze up my skin to add some definition. For blush, I'm taking this Tarte Blush and mixing the two colors and applying it to the apples of my cheeks. First, I'm going to deposit the color on the apples of my cheek. I'm going to blend it out into my hairline. For highlight, I'm taking the Milani highlighter and applying it to the high points of my cheeks. Curling my lashes with the Lancome curlers before I go in with the Lancome Monsieur Big Mascara. I absolutely love this mascara. It just gives me nice volume, and hitting my lower lashes as well. Moving on to lips, I'm taking the Sephora lip liner. I believe this is in the shade 84. I'm not sure. I will leave a link to everything in the description box down below. So please make sure to check that out. And setting all of my makeup using some Morphine Mist. That's the finished look. I absolutely love how glowy, soft and romantic this makeup look is. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Also give this video a thumbs up if you guys have been enjoying my bridal series so far. And I will see you all in my tomorrow's video. Bye!